Hey guys, it is Kimberly from Grounds Family Farm. Thanks for clicking on the video. Today I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to be working on a birthday cake for Abby. She'll be 10 in just a few days, and I need to make the cake portion so I can have it ready to be able to frost and decorate in a couple days. So I thought I'd bring you along. I'm doing a gluten-free white cake, 2 8-inch round pans, so that I can layer them and they'll be extra tall, extra cute, all that good stuff. But I thought I'd bring you along and let you see how I do it. So here we go. Okay, so first things first, I have got to sift the flour and cornstarch and then add a few other things to that. So I've got to have 2 cups of gluten-free flour. The blend I use is Divided Sunset. It works fabulous for all the baking that I do. It tastes less grainy than a lot of other gluten-free flours, which is really nice. There's my 2 cups into my sifter. I really like this new sifter that Kevin got me not long ago. It has been very helpful. So it's 2 cups of flour. I've got to do 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. And again, I had to find a cornstarch that is gluten-free because surprisingly, gluten can be found in a lot of places that you don't normally think. So there we go. There's that, the 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. And now I've got to sift it. They say the purpose of sifting it is just to make sure that it stays light and fluffy, since we are making a cake and we are using flours that tend to be a little less light and fluffy. Because if you've ever had anything gluten-free, you know, sometimes it doesn't turn out so light and fluffy. Okay, so I've got that sifted. Now I've got to add baking soda, baking powder, and salt. So got my baking soda, and we're doing half a teaspoon of baking soda. I love my handy little measuring spoon. So half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. One and 2, and also my salt. So half a teaspoon of salt. Oh, that was a little extra, so there we go. And then it says to whisk that very well. That way it stays light and fluffy. Okay, now I'm going to set that to the side. Now here I have 1.5 cups of, well, it's supposed to be buttermilk. I don't keep buttermilk on hand, so I made my own buttermilk mixture with vinegar and milk. It always works quite well for us. But I've got to put some egg whites and an egg in there. It calls for 4 egg whites at room temperature, which I actually just gathered these eggs earlier. So I cleaned them up and am using them. So I've got to add egg whites to it. Egg. The buttermilk's already in there. And then I've got to add some vanilla. Let's see, on the vanilla, I need 2 teaspoons. I've got my vanilla here. 1, 2. Okay. I'm just going to take my small whisk to mix these up pretty well. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them then. Okay, so what I have done over here is it called for 10 tablespoons of butter and it called for 1.5 cups of sugar, and it wanted me to beat these for at least 3 minutes until they were nice and light and fluffy. I've scraped the bowl, restarted it. Now it's time to add the dry and wet ingredients that we had from earlier. So what it said to do is to alternate between dry and wet ingredients. I'm going to turn the mixer off for the dry ingredients just because I don't want it to sling everywhere. But it says start and end with the dry ingredients. So I'm going to put a little bit of my dry mixture in here and turn it on. Now, I'll turn it back down a little bit. Okay, there's a little bit of our wet ingredient. Okay. Now let me add some more dry. There we go. Turn it back on. And a little bit more of the wet ingredients. Okay. Let that go for a minute. I'll have to scrape that bowl down here in just a minute too. Okay. So now let me add some more of my dry ingredients. Okay, let's go back on. This is looking nice and light and fluffy. Okay. Well, I guess I didn't. Let me turn it all the way off. All the wet ingredients now. Let me add the last of the dry. Sorry about that clang. Okay. Turn that up just for a minute, and then I'm going to scrape the bowl down and remix it for a little bit longer to make sure it's all incorporated well, and then I'll show you next steps. Okay, so now what I've done is I took that big fluffy bowl of batter and I have divided it into 4 bowls, individual bowls, roughly about the same amount of batter in each one. What I like to do is I like to take 4 different colors, which I have chosen green, blue, pink, and purple. And I'm going to be dyeing each one of these bowls a different color, and we're going to kind of tie-dye the inside of this cake. And I'll show you how I do it, because I do it a little differently than the instructions I initially got, because I like the way it turns out better when I do it my way. So let me show you what I'm gonna do, and then we'll put them in the cake pans and bake them. Let's just start with the green. It's a neon green. I don't really like measure these necessarily. I just kind of go by feel and what looks good. Done it a few times, so I kind of know about how much I like to add to make it a nice bright color. I don't think it was quite enough on this one, so some colors you don't have to add as much to make them colorful, but light colors I've found that you have to add a lot more to. Like, look at that green. That's really shaping up to be nice. And you just want to make sure you stir them enough to incorporate the color throughout. Otherwise, you'll kind of have just white cake at the bottom, cake batter at the bottom of it. Okay, now let's do blue. And I am doing different spoons for all these. Obviously, you don't want to mix your colors right now anyway. Look how pretty that blue is. although I was worried about it not being, or about it being too dark, so I didn't add as much. You can always add more color to it, but unless you have white food coloring, it's really, really hard to go back if you go too dark. Okay, there's that. Now I've got pink. If I need more pink, I do have more, I think a whole nother tube of this pink, but that should be enough for the purpose of this. I'm going to need pink for the decorations too, so, oh, nice and bright. Love it, love it. And there again, just make sure you incorporate it well. If you're not scraping the bottom a little bit, then you definitely may not be incorporating it as well as you should. At least that's how I do. Okay, this purple, we'll see if it's enough, because there's not quite as much purple in this one left. That may be enough though. It's pretty much empty at this point though. Purple's one of those colors though, another one of those that if you go too dark with, that it's hard to come back from, so a little bit more would be nice. Okay, that is literally all the dye in that one, so I think that's purpley enough though. Not really a word, I know, but it's fine. Okay, so let me move these out of the way, and we're going to have some fun with the cake pans. I may just half of one, then half of another, that kind of thing. Okay. Make a nice little plop of this. Try to start somewhere in the center of the pan. And then put it into this one as well. Biggest thing I want to do is to make sure that they look pretty well even as I'm putting them in there. You don't want one caked, if you're stacking cakes, you don't want one significantly bigger than the other. Okay, that's my blue. Let's do pink next. I think that'll be nice. Sorry if I have to block the camera for a minute there. Doing this a little differently. As you add more colors to it, the bottom layer will slowly expand a little bit. So if you do it a little bit at a time, back and forth between the pans, makes it a little easier to keep track of everything and see exactly how much you have. Okay, there's two colors down. Let's do green next. Put green right in the center of the pink, just like I did with the pink into the blue. And put a little of that into this one as well. And this is not necessarily an exact science, at least for me. If one is a little bit bigger than the other, it will be fine because I can even them out. I have all the tools I need to do that when I have the cakes fully baked. So I try not to stress about it very much. Okay, here's my purple. Last color. Okay. Oops. And accidents do happen sometimes. Okay, so one of the easiest ways I feel like to do this is to just take it and I just kind of work it through, swirl it around. Not mix, swirl. Just making sure, oh, that was a little bit of a mix. sure that I try to incorporate the different colors into some sort of an interesting looking pattern. But that way, you'll wind up with some swirls and surprises whenever you cut the cake. There we go. A knife works well. I've used a toothpick before because some recipes said to just put like a line here or there. But I found that if I add a slight swirl at times, that it makes it more interesting. And the kids absolutely love it. Which they'll love it no matter what, but I've gotten a lot better as I've done a few more of these. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And I just usually shake them a little bit just to make sure that they seem kind of flat. Not, you know, ridged in one spot or something like that, because we do ultimately really want a cake that is not completely odd shaped or anything like that when we're trying to decorate. So I'm fixing to put these in the oven, 350 for about 20 minutes, and I will show you the finished product whenever they're done. So while I'm waiting on the cakes to bake, got a timer set. Decided to come out and check on the animals again. We fed everything this morning. Izzy changed out the waters like she likes to do. I thought I'd let her tell you about who all of our turkeys are. They have named all the turkeys, so I thought I'd let her share that with you. Okay, so starting with our male turkeys, the white one here is Larry. This one that is over here eating beside Floppy, that is Daryl. This right here is Tommy. And where'd our other guy go?
Over there.
Over here. This plain black one is named Joe. For our girls, this one right here is Ellie. And where's our girl? Other girl. Here she is. This is Ellie. They're so friendly. And there, of course, is our noisy guinea. So I came on down to check on the horses, donkeys, llama, sheep, pigs, all that good stuff that's down at the bottom of the hill. And they all came to greet me. Hey, there's Precious. Oh, Short Stack. You're a lovely little thing. You know it? Yeah, you know it? You're so cute. There's Spice. Hey, girlfriend. You looking good. You're looking really good. Hey, Waffles, buddy. All of these guys are attention hogs. Hey, Waffles. Hey, dude. This one right here, he looked a little sad whenever we first met him, but he is filled out and he looks amazing. Oh, Short Stack, really? Bumping his head into me, so I'll turn around and pay him some attention. Yes, sir. You are the sweetest little baby. Hey, Daisy. Hi, darling. Daisy looks great too. She has always been friendly. Yeah. Hi, baby girl. You've been rolling in the dirt. Short Stack. Really, babe? They are all a little bit spoiled rotten, just in case you can't tell. Hi, Sheepy. Wow. Yeah, you came running. You realize somebody's out here to give you some attention. Yeah. So I made it back up the hill and the timer was going off. So I got these out of the oven. This is what they look like on the outside. And I've stuck a toothpick in them, as you can tell, and they are definitely done. So now what's left for today is for me to let them cool for about 15 minutes here, and then turn them out onto wire racks and let them finish cooling, and then I'm probably going to wrap them up and freeze them until I'm ready to decorate in a couple days. That way they stay as fresh as possible, but then I don't have to wait on, you know, cakes to bake, cakes to cool, all that to be able to decorate. But I think that that is it for today on this, and I'm pretty pleased with how they turned out. So I think that's about it for this video. I got my cakes made, got the animals checked on, and now it's time for me to work on some supper. The girls are going to go out and enjoy a little bit more of the sunshine because it's a beautiful day outside today. But I will keep you posted on how decorating goes, and I can't believe Abby's fixing to be 10. But I guess we will catch you next time at Grounds Family Farm. I hope you join us next time. Bye.